What's going on, Internet? I'm Christopher Peterson, and you're listening to the NerdEXP Podcast. This week, I'm hanging out with Drew.
Hello.
Edgar.
Good to be back.
And Guillermo.
Hey, it's me again.
The point of all this? To start a conversation and help you level up your nerd IQ. How are we going to do that? By going through this week-ish, 2 months, entertainment headlines, news wrap-ups, and then topic of the week. So, jumping in for movie news, there was a little award ceremony, the Oscars that came out.
The Academy Awards.
I've heard both ways. So, Birdman swept. Hollywood loves movies made about Hollywood, so not a huge surprise there. I realized that I'm so knee deep into sci-fi, fantasy, and superhero capes and nerd culture. I literally did not see a single movie that was nominated outside of the animated features.
Yeah.
Not even Grand Budapest Hotel?
Nope.
You had 10 months to see that.
So for the best picture, we had American Sniper, Imitation Game, Selma, Birdman, Theory of Everything, Whiplash, Boyhood, Grand Budapest Hotel. 0 of 9. Or of 8. 0 of 8. I watched 0 of 8.
I saw 6
of 8.
6 of 8.
Which one? You went
I did
a
last minute catch up in the last 2 weeks.
Which ones did you miss?
I did not watch American Sniper or Selma.
Oh wow, you left the
two Americans.
The two big ones.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Did you see anything?
Boyhood was
No.
American too.
0?
The last movie I saw was Gone Girl.
Wow. So this is one of the things that came out of these awards. Not only did people say that the awards were very boring.
They were very boring.
Long and who knows what. I had a couple of odd moments. But they also said that, combined together, all these movies made a lot less than any other time that this category has been.
Boo-hoo for them.
I'm okay with that. I don't necessarily, I do think that sometimes sci-fi and the fact that Guardians of the Galaxy can't win Best Makeup or Best Sound and Interstellar, and we can have an argument over that later.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that those sci-fi movies do always kind of get kicked in the groin, that's kind of hurtful. But I don't know, I'm glad that the Oscars is not just, hey, here's the movies that made the most money, so we're also giving the most awards to highlight and just kind of kneel down to fan expectations or we'll follow the dollars.
Fair enough.
But I guess this is just a trend that we talked about. Movie viewing is on the decline. I think tickets are being sold in less quantities than before. People are getting sequelitis, or with the availability of streaming and the quick turnaround to digital, it's just not as attractive to go to the movie theater and then have your kids talking to buying popcorn and then Twizzlers and then what turns into a $40 splurge becomes a $100 splurge.
Yeah.
Also, interesting random fact I read today was that for the first time in history, China's box office made more money than the U.S. box office. It was for the month of February.
Oh, wow.
So.
Well, you had the month of February.
China's on a big upkick, too.
For everything. But
still
this
big
past
deal.
weekend what was the most? I think it was 18 million is what I heard that it was over the weekend.
Number 1, yeah. That's February. That's typical.
18?
What was the movie this weekend?
Focus.
Oh, Focus. Ah.
That's terrible.
It's weak
I
for
forgot
Will
about that
Smith,
movie.
but for February, I'd say it's pretty average.
Focus, your Suicide Squad preview.
It's not great.
There wasn't any big artillery this year when it came to no Steven Spielberg, there was no royalty.
Big name directors.
There was no Tom Hanks. Well, no, I didn't see Tom Hanks. I didn't see Nicholson. I didn't see Martin Scorsese. I didn't see Steven Spielberg. There was no big guns there. It's just the future. Yeah,
No Tom Hanks.
Yeah, no Tom Cruise. The actors that we knew and love are just getting old now. We have to get used to this new Hollywood. Emma Stone, Jonah Hill, Jesse Eisenberg. Those are the new people now.
They were there?
Neil Patrick Harris.
Harris.
I thought it was funny. I saw clips. I didn't watch the show, but the clips I saw on YouTube, I thought I don't know how he was for the whole show. So maybe it's a Jimmy Fallon episode. I just got some highlights.
Yeah.
But I thought he did a good job.
He was decent. There's definitely been a lot worse.
Yeah, I guess
especially in recent years.
I didn't laugh. Ellen DeGeneres, she was funny. She was funny the entire show, but this one,
A lot of people blame the writers. They said that the
I'm
writers
sure
for the
Neil
show
Patrick Harris doesn't go out there and ad-lib, you know?
Right.
He's given a script.
Yeah. So a lot of people blame that. I can't judge either way. I didn't see it, so.
The Birdman skit he did I thought was great.
Yeah?
But because they also threw in a little Whiplash reference, and Whiplash was my favorite of all of the nominees
Any surprises
that I
for
saw.
you
I
guys
mean, I didn't see two of them.
out of these awards?
American Sniper won one Oscar.
Winning an Oscar?
And
You
it
think
was
that's low? You're saying you expected it to do more?
It was a dark horse for director, Clint Eastwood movie. Bradley Cooper, like best actor. It won best sound mixing or something. Like not like like something that
Sound editing,
isn't
sound
that
mixing, one of them.
prestigious. So yeah, American Sniper being
Nominated for a lot though. That counts.
Yeah.
There's only 3 movies that won more than one award, and that was Grand Budapest Hotel, Whiplash, and Birdman, and that was it. Grand Budapest Hotel came out of nowhere. It surprised everybody.
Interstellar won.
Interstellar got an Oscar. That's good.
That's right.
It'll be on the DVD case.
Not for sound.
Not for sound.
Thank God. That's the one thing I was excited about.
Going back to this whole deal that we are losing the movies at the movie theaters. Interstellar was one movie that I really, really wanted to go see it again in the movie theater.
Did you?
Yeah, and I wasn't the only one. When was it? I think a week or 2 weeks ago, they had a special 1-day showing. They were bringing it back to selected movie theaters. So
IMAX theaters,
right? So it definitely is a movie that was made for that format, and I'm interested to see how it holds up, in a smaller setting. But that movie's just epic, made for that format. I think that's what Drew was selling us on for the whole time.
The entire year. Guys, you're gonna love this movie Interstellar, man.
So
I still haven't seen it.
off the radar.
I still haven't seen it.
You still haven't seen it?
No.
Well,
no. I'll wait for it to come out on.
Did we spoilcast it? Weren't you sitting in that chair while we talked about it?
Yes. Yes.
We didn't say too much about it because it was a good month or two after it had been out.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, we said a little bit.
So Oscars, how I would sum up the Oscars was it was pretty boring.
None of the speeches were really inspiring or anything either. I honestly am a sap for that. I kind of
think so?
I kind of get excited about that.
There's no Cuba Gooding Jr. this year.
Well, this is for the first time ever I heard actually more news and coverage about the speeches rather than the people's clothes. So
that's because everyone just uses their speech to get a little political line out there, This is one woman saying, "We got to fight suicide. My son committed suicide," and then the screenwriters, "I tried committing suicide when I was 16," and then there was one talking about equality for women, equal pay for women, or something, and then Alejandro made a crack at immigration laws and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was there was a lot of political one-liners. It was That's why it was in the news so much. What I thought was funny was in Alejandro's one of his speeches, he accepted 3 times, but in one of his speeches, when he made a crack about immigration, he made a joke about immigration, the first thing the camera showed was Clint Eastwood's face, and he was just typical
because
grimace
because Sean Penn did best director. No,
he presented best picture.
He presented best picture, and then Sean Penn made a comment "How did this guy get his green card?"
Yeah.
It was something real bad.
He said somebody needs to take his green card away.
It was 2 years in a row that best director went to a Mexican director. Because last year was Alfonso Cuarón.
Yeah.
That's a crazy thing. I mean, it's been a while since the movie industry was taking out of the American hands, and I think more and more we're seeing that.
But they're both American productions.
They are, but I mean,
and neither one really has a Latin heart. There's no.
I honestly don't know
message
what else
or anything. Has nothing to do with
what
it.
else has he done. I mean,
Inarritu has done Babel, Amores Perros.
That's him.
Yeah.
Oh well, then I've seen his stuff. Then I never knew that's who he was.
That's all I know. Just Babel. Babel and then Birdman. That's all I know.
Animated feature film. I know we care a lot about animated movies. Did they get it right? Big Hero 6, Song of the Sea, Tale of Princess Kaguya, The Box Trolls, and How to Train Your Dragon 2.
No, they did not get that right. The Lego Movie should have been at least nominated.
I agree there, because that movie needs to be noted at least.
Yeah.
They forgot about it because it came out in February. It was a year ago that it came out.
So, I mean...
Like, it was out before the last Oscars, I think.
The movie, I mean, so it did get nominated for
Best Song. Yeah.
So, I guess it got commemorated somehow. But it earned a sequel, so...
Another Disney win, I guess.
I was gonna say, God, does Disney just automatically win? Because, I feel like How to Train Your Dragon 2 was a better visual movie. Like, when I saw that movie, I was like, man, this looks great. Like, animation has taken leaps forward. I didn't feel that with Big Hero 6.
And that's DreamWorks.
I thought How to Train Your Dragon had it in the bag. Like, if we would have done our typical pool, I would have picked How to Train Your Dragon. Like, I was
It seems
surprised.
that DreamWorks always makes the push on animation as far as mainstream animation. I mean, there's other people doing weird stuff and innovative stuff, but DreamWorks always seemed to me that they always pushed it. And then, Disney just never disappoints as far as storyline. That's basically
I feel
what
like, as far as Big Hero 6 and How to Train Your Dragon, we're both about the same for me when it came to story. Like, both okay. But How to Train Your Dragon, like Chris said, is beautiful.
Yeah. Which I guess it kind of leads us into what our next topic was, too, is, into animation and Disney. They put there's big buzz going on right now for the new Frozen short animated.
Oh my God, Frozen!
Well, that's exactly what every little kid is doing.
Coming back.
Disney, again, is capitalizing on their story. They're making a animated short to be... to open the new Cinderella movie with. That is the only place that you're going to be able to see it. I'm sure for the first week. And then I'm sure they'll try to sell it on iTunes or whatever. It's interesting to me that there's a preview for an animated short that's going to be attached to another movie.
They did it with Toy Story for their shorts. At least one of them.
So we all saw the Frozen trailer for the animated short, Frozen Fever, which is a funny meta name.
Yeah, terrible name.
But have any of us seen the trailer for Cinderella? The movie that it's actually attached to?
I have.
You work in a theater. I don't know if that really counts.
I have not.
All I know is that it has Rob Stark in it, and then that's it. Like the
Directed
actor who
by
plays
Kenneth
Rob Stark.
Branagh,
Oh, really? It's directed by him?
director of Thor.
I just, my gut reaction is that, and not to pick on Disney, but Cinderella, they focus grouped or tested it or did something.
Yeah.
They went, ew.
Buzz is
we
low
are
on that.
we are
Real
not
low.
going to get the return of investment. This is not going to be
Alice in
Maleficent
Wonderland.
or an Alice in Wonderland. What can we do to try and buff this up a little bit? And I don't think they slapped Frozen together in 2 hours and just put
But they were waiting for the
But they
opportunity.
were working on it already, so they're hey, this is now the movie that this
Instead of
attached to.
Avengers, let's put it.
Yeah, let's put it. We don't have to save Avengers anymore. That's
I
interesting.
can actually see people buying tickets for Cinderella and then leaving, just like some people did for the Star Wars trailer.
I don't think so. I mean, usually the people who are going to go see this Frozen short, it's going to be
crazy high school weird girls. Those are the people that I would see going in and leaving.
Crazy
pretty-
high
People
school
taking their
girls.
kids. People taking their kids would stay. Yeah,
They don't
I
stay.
agree, but strange.
They paid the $12. They're
The
going to stay.
darker high school girls that are really into anime, that love musicals, they're gonna go. Just I was working at the theater when the first trailer for Twilight premiered, and we had girls coming in and leaving just to see it because it was on some movie nobody's ever heard of.
It's funny you pick on them, but didn't you do the same thing with Meet Joe Black?
No. I was 11 years old.
What did you do?
I know he's talking about the Phantom Menace premiere.
Oh.
It was notorious for people coming in and trying to get refunds. So I know when the Star Wars Force Awakens trailer premiered, they theaters were introducing rules: no refunds on your ticket. So,
Wow.
Trailers are part of the experience.
yeah.
I agree. I mean, I think if there was one TV show that they had, and I'm sure they still got it. It was called Movie Trailers, and it was 30 minutes of just movie trailers, and I would watch that thing.
We have apps for that now.
You think it still exists?
I don't know.
With YouTube,
I have an app I have an app on my Blu-ray player that's just trailers.
I don't know. I can't imagine that's actually getting.
But I do mostly watch it on YouTube
I don't
because the app gets them not right away.
That's the thing. I think that's what killed most of it, is the fact that it's not really.
I mean, that's what the internet does to everything.
I think so.
Do you guys watch trailers more often the first time in theaters or online?
Online. At this point, it's online.
I wait for theaters if it's something I really care about, but which isn't much. But otherwise I'll watch it. I won't watch it on my phone. Like I'll wait until I get home and I can cast it to my TV screen or something. But
no.
I've never watched a trailer for the first time on my phone.
Blasphemy.
Yeah.
That's basically what it comes down to, though. Cool.
Well, maybe a trailer, maybe another movie poster. Robert Downey Jr. hinted that we should all be on the lookout for an announcement concerning Avengers: Age of Ultron in the coming days.
He tweeted
Thursday. Thursday is the 8th day.
8th day?
Yeah, he says in 8 days.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So, what do you guys think this is? What can?
Well, I already know what it is now.
Why?
Now that time has passed.
Why?
I mean, it's strongly
what are you talking about?
expected. Nobody knows for sure. The trailer, a new trailer.
Another trailer?
Yeah, but I don't think he's gonna. They already went out of their way and said, "Yeah, we're attaching a new trailer to this new TV show."
On that day.
If this was a dictatorship, we'd be done talking about the story. Like, to me, what's more fascinating about this story is not what did he talk about. It is the craze and phenomenon of information and how much people demand it. And the fact that Robert Downey Jr., for a movie that's 2 months out, that we've seen 2 trailers, 1 million posters, and already know a crap ton about, can say, hey, I'm going to tease something 8 days from now. And people are flipping out and trying to guess what it is. Yeah. Like, this is getting out of hand.
Yeah,
like,
but let's see this, though. Robert Downey Jr. does the exact same move, but take away Spider-Man. The Spider-Man news, take those away, this goes quiet. The only reason this is making the buzz is because of the announcement of Spider-Man joining back up with the Avengers, possibly, as Sony is sharing the rights of the storyline for Spider-Man. Spider-Man can live in other people's universes, but Sony still owns the sole Spider-Man. So nobody can make a Spider-Man movie, but Spider-Man can go play with somebody else.
Sony can't make a Spider-Man movie.
I'd like to believe that you are right, that this is like piggybacking off the huge success of the Spider-Man, but it's not. I saw a story about Jared Leto cutting his hair to play Joker. That's not a news story. Like that.
That was an Instagram.
That's just a fact. Like, all right, like move on.
The Rock is getting big for his role as Black Adam.
He's playing a rock.
I mean, you could be right, and it could be Spider-Man related. Maybe they'll officially announce that he'll be in Civil War or whatever. But I don't know.
I mean, I think this is what I'm thinking. Yes, this is what I'm thinking. So
no way.
Yes,
no way.
They announced the director. They officially announced the director and writer, which it's Drew Goddard, famously known for what movies, Drew? What has he
Cabin
done?
in the Woods.
And he wrote for Lost.
Yeah,
he wrote Cloverfield.
Yeah, he wrote Cloverfield.
1 success and 2 duds.
But again, so he's definitely got good people that he's worked with.
Nerd credentials.
He's actually writing on Daredevil, so I just started looking it up.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, Marvel's already kind of integrated him into their.
That's a huge task, though. I mean, to try to revive a franchise that right now. Most people still love the character, but they kind of were disheartened with the last outing. As you can listen to episode.
It's going to be a Marvel Studios production. It is still going to be a Marvel Studios production.
It is, and
it's distributed by Sony.
That's right, and they're going to try to squeeze, fit it into the Marvel universe, which is fantastic. I think that's a great thing. That I'm so glad it happened.
Hopefully, they skip the origin story, which I expect that they will do, because I think Kevin Feige, whatever, at the big
email us at nerdexp@gmail.com, Kevin Feige, if we're pronouncing your name wrong.
I always thought it was Feige.
That's what I always thought, but it was how James Gunn said it at Dragon Con. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Feige. It was something like that. But
he's trolling him.
He could be.
It's pronounced GIF, not GIF.
I say GIF.
You're a fool.
The shit, you made me lose my train. At the big panel where they announced Phase 3 and all that, I think Kevin Feige said that they were gonna stop doing
origin stories.
Yeah, even for new characters they're introducing. So
what about Black Panther? I don't know anything
maybe
about Black
Spider-Man.
Panther.
They're just going to go right into it because we don't need, because Tobey Maguire's origin and Andrew Garfield's origin were almost identical. So we don't need another one.
I agree.
I was shocked when I saw this announcement from Sony. Like, if you asked me, I would say no. Sony is never going to let go of the rights of this character and allow this to happen.
Actually, on our last episode, you said that. I just listened to it this morning.
And that's funny. And obviously I was wrong. And, Memo kind of hinted at this on the deal, though. Sony did kind of flub the Amazing Spider-Man reboot, and I think they realized they don't have the creative talent, so they're willing to let Marvel use Spider-Man in whatever capacity for the movies that they want to, as long as they kind of pinky promise that they're going to make a good Spider-Man movie, and then that's Sony's payment for lending the character out.
And everyone wears Sony watches, use Sony laptops, talk on Sony phones, use Sony tablets. That's the deal.
It opens a lot of more options. If anything, it just
will Fox follow suit.
That's the big one.
No,
I think they will.
Dude, X-Men makes money. No, X-Men is critically
this
acclaimed.
X-Men is gonna. I honestly have low expectations.
I think they're going to reboot it because this next X-Men is going to be the third movie with Michael Fassbender and James McAvoy.
The alternate universe one.
End of a trilogy.
Yeah,
I think and Hugh Jackman's 50 years old now.
Wow.
I think they're gonna eventually very soon be rebooting X-Men, and I think they might share.
Is that hyperbole or is he really 50?
He's 50.
He's old.
He's 50.
He doesn't look 50.
He's 50.
Well, I mean, they did cast a young Cyclops, Jean Grey, and Storm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe it won't be a hard reboot.
And Fantastic Four, they've got young kids now.
Yeah.
Do you think that's maybe what Fox is kind of planning?
I think so.
Going to.
I mean, everyone,
their Fantastic Four, X-Men plot.
We don't expect Fox to do it because Fox's emails weren't hacked.
What's the storyline? I can't think of the comic book storyline where Doctor Doom is the big bad guy trying to take over the world. And
that's everyone. Yeah, that's every single one of them.
Wasn't he in Days of Future Past?
Dr. Doom?
No.
Okay.
No, this is one where everybody
there was one where
partners up again.
Kitty Pryde had something to do with something that happened to Fantastic Four.
I can't remember.
It's I thought it was Days of Future
one
Past.
of the big ones.
I know they fight against each other.
Infinity Wars? No.
Secret Wars.
Secret Wars? That might be it.
They fought against each other, haven't they?
Well, the reason I bring it up, I was actually at the bookstore a couple of days ago.
What's that?
I know.
You mean Amazon.com?
That's it.
He re-joked that.
I did.
Is that John Oliver?
No, I said that to Eddie.
I was at Barnes & Noble, and I got some Funko toys. And then Chris is like, what's wrong? Is Amazon.com down? I'm like, no, I was just in here.
Anyways, in one of their new release racks, there was actually a novelization of The Secret Wars. And, I mean, it looked pretty cool. So, I like novelizations of other source shorter stuff. So, that's it. Looking forward to this 8-day announcement. I think it's going to be the cat, or who is going to be Spider-Man.
I think they're going to go show Vision. I think they're going to stick with the movie, Memo. I'm sorry. They're going to stick with the movie. They're going to show how Vision looks like.
I think Spider-Man makes it into this movie.
Another reference to our last episode. Chris had mentioned, he didn't want to see Vision. He wanted something left for the movie, right?
Right.
And I agree with him. I don't want to see a trailer that reveals Vision so close to the movie. They've already gone this far.
Right, and I mean, even if you look at the poster, Vision is like way the hell back. They're just like,
and he's like behind a sun glare,
right?
Or sun flare.
Hang on, would you be okay if there's a Star Wars trailer that doesn't show any like Luke Skywalker or Han Solo?
That sounds awesome. Like, I would love that.
Like,
No.
like the
Already
new trailer.
happened, you mean?
You're gonna watch it anyway.
Like-
what difference does it make?
I don't know. The next trailer, though, as J.J. Abrams already announced, it's going to include a lot more, nostalgia. It's going to be the
Maybe they'll show R2 or C-3PO, but do they show Luke already?
All right, so
with all the beard?
Let me set it up. So the trailer for Star Wars is going to premiere at Celebration 2015.
Fact or Guillermo?
The trailer is going. J.J. Abrams already said it.
It's a good beat.
They're gonna open the celebration in a big way. That's with quotation marks in the air quotes here. They're opening
all right.
celebration in a big way.
They confirmed the big people. The only one that I think we're waiting on to confirm is Harrison Ford.
I knew it.
And I think he's already confirmed, and they're just letting the news easily. I mean, for the last couple of weeks, every week we've been getting somebody new of who's going to be there at the convention, and it's probably
He's going to be the most sought after, most exciting. Like if they're going to reveal it, he would be last.
And he's probably going to be the guy. And I think so there's I think 7 weeks left, which is basically you're going to have the new people also. I that's what I want to see. I want to see Celebration with the newer characters that we're going to get. I want to see those guys.
What are they going to be doing?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, they can just stand there and say, I'm in Star Wars.
I don't want to see 5 panels on Star Wars Rebels Season 2.
Have you guys kept up with that?
No. But I mean, I kept up with it as far as like I'm not on the latest episode,
story
but
beats and stuff.
The reason I made that reference is because it's been announced they're going to play the first episode or a trailer for Season 2 of Rebels at Star Wars Celebration.
Yep.
So they're making a big
and
deal
a big
out of
panel,
that.
including a possible comeback by George Lucas.
What?
Yes.
He's going to leave his house?
No, they're saying that he might take over a few episodes of Rebels.
That's terrible.
Jar Jar Binks. They're going to talk about midichlorians.
He felt left out of Force Awakens.
And last bit of like kind of movie news that happened while we were gone. Aquaman poster revealed.
Who?
Khal Drogo.
Khal Drogo, the underwater Khal Drogo.
Who's Khal Drogo?
He's from Game of Thrones.
Jason
Momoa.
He's the same guy. You guys say he looks exactly like.
Yeah, he looks exactly like his character in Game of Thrones, but with extra tattoos in the quadrants.
the armor he wears in the Aquaman poster looks exactly like a tattoo he has. He has these weird triangles that look almost like scales.
How do you know that?
I've seen him in other stuff.
Oh.
He has the real tattoo of that.
Oh, okay.
So he probably did it to cover it up.
And the tagline says "Unite the Seven." And I could be completely off base. Is this the first hint? And maybe they didn't even say this. Is Aquaman in Superman v Batman: Dawn of Justice?
This is the first confirmation.
Yeah, I don't think they have said that he is.
It was kind of it's thought that this poster means that he is.
Yeah, it looks very similar. To
But is this the
marketing
first time? There's so I mean, does that mean we're going to see the Flash and who else?
Cyborg?
John Jones.
We know this is
Cyborg's the only one that's been cast, right?
Cyborg.
Cyborg's already been announced.
He's the only other one cast.
Yeah,
I believe.
Cyborg, Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman,
Flash,
Green Lantern.
Yeah, based off the movie schedule.
Yeah,
Flash and Green Lantern are way
2020. So
I'm just kidding.
Oh.
I wasn't going to say anything. I was just making a joke after I repeated you several times.
So Unite the Seven. Honestly, I thought this poster was no buzz for me.
It was okay.
It was they released it at 1 a.m. I think.
It's no Spider-Man going to Marvel Universe.
No, that's the thing. I mean, they started the news. The poster came out first, and this was DC trying to create a buzz, and there was some buzz. But I found out about it when I woke up that day and went to work, and I think I texted everybody about it.
Yeah.
I didn't actually get to read it in Google News, which kind of updates the most viewed news of everything, until like I came home from work that night. It took that long for that to really get around and create some kind of buzz. And then it was completely tumbled down by, the bigger news later that night.
And just like it always happens with every DC announcement, there's jokes and Twitter images galore.
Yeah, that was meme generator galore.
Yeah. DC just can't escape that.
No, I don't think.
I made a joke to someone, I don't remember who it was, but I was like, there are Marvel trolls out there working for Marvel to tear down DC's announcements.
And DC has to take it right now because they have nothing.
No, they have nothing, yeah.
They have nothing.
I mean, it's funny, like, Perma's like, you guys are right, like, funny memes, haha. But I mean, like, I don't know, that's how some of these wars are won, is that word of mouth, are your community thought leaders. It's not, I mean, obviously they're influenced. It's not necessarily, like, the big trailers and the huge events. It's the fact of, like, people like us who are plugged into this. We tell our friends, we tell, our coworkers, like, hey, did you see this? This is really cool. And that's, like, kind of what gets on their radar and gets on their buzz and gets them moving. So, I mean, you're kind of right. Like,
it's my Jupiter Ascending bombed.
It's true.
Because people told people?
I saw it. It wasn't great, but it was not worthy of the failure that it was. It was way better than that.
I was on the fence. And I was like, I don't know, like, Wachowski brothers, I mean, they made 2 good movies and 2 other Matrix movies. So maybe I'll watch it. But then I'm like, everybody said it was bad, so that word of mouth matters.
Yeah.
Moving on to TV news. Recently, SNL celebrated their 40th anniversary. Huge episode, huge cast, lots of things and references and jokes. For the most part, like, I tried to watch it. I watched like the first hour, and then I got to a point where I just watched the highlights. Yeah. I think it could have been funnier.
The show, it was just a show of highlights.
Exactly. I think it could have been funnier if it was like a 2-3 hour SNL skit that, like, had old cast members doing their old skits, doing their old punchlines. But it was mostly them talking about SNL. Like, you have Wayne's World doing a top 10 SNL countdown.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, it was a bunch of monologues of them coming out and talking about
and that
Saturday Night Live.
Stupid family thing they had. What was that called?
The
Californians.
Oh my god.
I
fast forwarded through that.
Oh, I didn't laugh a single time in that.
So for me,
even with Bradley Cooper showing up?
Yeah.
It was pretty cool just to see how many people. I mean, I think the highlight for me out of that whole show was every time they showed the audience, at one point, I'm like, wait a second, is that George Lucas? That was George Lucas.
Steven Spielberg standing right next to him.
Spielberg is right next to him. And Kate Capshaw.
It was a powerhouse there.
That's right. I mean, it's incredible. The amount of star power that the show really has drawn. Right. Highlight for me was the opening. That was
that was really good.
Their audience was actually bigger than the Oscars audience.
Jimmy Fallon, Justin Timberlake. That was the highlight for me of the night. Out of all the skits and everything. Secondly, I really like seeing Adam Sandler back into some of his characters. That was pretty cool, like the opera man.
One of his characters.
Well, and then he did the short. That was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, he did.
Which was also a joke at Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
And Horatio Sands. So that was the highlight. You guys had any other moments?
I watched it all. It was funny. I read about what happened with Eddie Murphy, of how he was supposed to be Bill Cosby, and then he stuck up for Bill Cosby, saying that you shouldn't kick a man while he's down, and then other people weighed in, and the Eddie Murphy bit was really awkward because everyone's like, Chris Rock did a great job introducing Eddie Murphy, and then Eddie Murphy came out and he's like, yeah, thanks.
At one point, like, he literally was like, oh, you want me to say something more? Like, he was just sitting there in silence before they went to commercial, and he was like, what?
Yeah, that was awkward. Yeah. Like
it felt like he was just kind of blowing them off.
Yeah,
it was nice to see him there. His blue suit was awesome.
It's interesting. I mean, there's got to be some big backstory there.
It was a Bill Cosby thing, like in Celebrity Jeopardy.
As to like his history with the show. I mean,
I read all about it. There was a David Spade skit where he made fun of Eddie Murphy, saying, "Look, kids, a falling star. Make a wish." That was it. And so that's the joke that Eddie Murphy got really turned off.
Flight attendant or whatever?
No, it was the Hollywood Minute with David Spade.
Oh, okay.
So that was the joke.
Like,
and Eddie Murphy hated it.
Ago?
Yes, it was like 1993 or 1994.
Ooh.
And that cursed Eddie Murphy to make Haunted Mansion, Daddy Daycare, and what is it? 1,000 words, a million words.
Bowfinger?
You would think comedian.
Hey, it had Jeff Goldblum. No, sorry. That was Holy Man. Holy Man had Jeff Goldblum.
You think a comedian would have a thicker skin?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, just to be able to laugh at it and shake it off. Yeah. But I mean, on the other hand, like, huge egos at play, juggling, and like.
He was nominated for an Oscar for Dreamgirls, though.
Yeah.
Which was in the last 10 years.
That was a pity nomination.
I love Eddie Murphy, but he just can't seem to get the right role. I was so excited for Tower Heist, even though Brett Ratner directed it, because he was coming back, and I think it was rated R, I don't remember. And I was like, oh man, Eddie Murphy's going to make a comeback off of this. Nope, he was barely in the movie.
Well, I think the comeback or the role for him is going to be revisiting Axel Foley. If, we're going to get that movie. And
no,
that'll just be awkward. That's going to be awkward.
It's going to be.
They're going to revamp.
He's going to train a new kid. He's going to train Michael B. Jordan to take his spot as Axel Foley.
No, his role in Beverly Hills Cop is going to be the same thing as the original Dukes of Hazzard. Like he's gonna be there for 5 seconds.
I'd really like the Axel Foley. I really would like to see him revisited one more time.
I almost feel like he doesn't have it in him. Like based off of his performance, not necessarily a performance, but his appearance at SNL and the other movies he's done, he just seems to have no energy.
Okay.
Other than Dreamgirls, like he was very energetic in Dreamgirls, but everything he's done is just so blah.
I don't think I know anything that he has coming up other than Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah, it's been like back and forth. It's been back and forth as like a TV series and movie. Like they can't decide what they want to do with it. The Beverly Hills Cop.
I don't believe that. Like that's coming out. Like I don't believe we will see that anytime soon.
I like the SNL the Jeopardy skit with all the celebrities. That was funny.
Yeah, no, that was
Sean
the best
Connery,
part of the episode.
And then Christoph Waltz was in it too.
Yeah, was it Celebrity Jeopardy?
Yeah, that was funny.
You're right, because that was one of the few like actual honest goodness skits.
Yes,
like
Potent Potables. We finally got to see that category, and that was outstanding.
Yes. The tits now. Yes,
that was great.
That was very good. I didn't get the Burt Reynolds thing. I didn't get
the Matthew McConaughey impersonation.
Yes, with Jim Carrey. That was good too.
Like that was just Turd Ferguson was one of the more popular Celebrity Jeopardies. That's why he got to be in there. It was just a callback.
No, I mean,
like the Bass-O-Matic 2000 was a callback to like a skinny Dan Aykroyd doing the same skit. Like, it wasn't funny. It was just.
I like the.
Did you guys hear that Dan Aykroyd is still saying that he hopes that more traditional Ghostbusters sequel is going to come out?
Yes.
He's like, well, this won't be the only one.
I like the John Lovitz joke, like the John Lovitz just in peace. They show the pics. He's like, they show the camera on him. He's like,
here. Even like at the end of the serious bit where they were saying goodbye to everyone. Through
John Lovitz. Yeah. Oh, that was funny. And I also like the Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David, like when Jerry
back and forth.
He's like, "Hey, look at this!" And just talk about how like Seinfeld was the last 2 tickets to Disney before it burned down.
Apparently, Eddie Murphy has a movie coming out this year called Cook, and it's going to be a drama.
All right,
with Eddie Murphy as the main guy.
Eddie Murphy as Cook.
It's Cook.
You sure it's not Coke?
Too soon, bro. Ouch. Too soon. Don't kick a man while he's down.
Other television news, sort of. Daredevil had a release trailer, and in true Netflix fashion, April 10th, the entire season's going to drop. I saw the trailer. I thought it did a really good job capturing the tone of Daredevil.
Street level.
Yeah, exactly.
The grit.
Like Daredevil is supposed to be, I don't know, kind of more. He's more Batman than Avengers. Like, he's supposed to be a street level hero, just fighting on rooftops and fighting drug dealers, not fighting to save the world. Like, just a more focused mission. So I think they did a really good job, and I was like surprised that I was happy with like the casting. I think they did, like I said, they did a good job capturing the feel of what I would want from a Daredevil comic to become on screen.
You think they're gonna eventually go to the full on like red costume? Because all they've shown in the trailers is
I think they have to.
First attempt.
They have to.
He looked more like a Zorro.
Yeah,
maybe by the end of the season we'll get it.
Yeah, into the season, so that way.
When you set it up for the second season.
When he pops up in Luke Cage or Jessica Jones or Defenders, he'll be in costume.
Yeah, they have that Defenders series.
So, what do you guys think? Did you care? Or?
I care. I'll watch it.
I honestly don't remember much about it other than his costume, but yeah, it looked good. I'm a sucker for Netflix originals, so I'm going to watch it anyway. So.
This is going to be the first Marvel released, TV series all at once. So... should be good. I mean, before, the only other Marvel that we really have to go by, two, it's Agent Carter and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they definitely, they had taped, 5 episodes, and they had to, go run to the storyboards again and say, crap, we need to fix this. So, to me, it would be very interesting to see Daredevil make it, because, it's done. You put the season out, it's done. Mm-hmm. So I hope they really, really...
and they're hour-long episodes, right?
Took care of it.
Hour-long. It's going to be 13 hours of Daredevil.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
But, Netflix always has a really good thing with their episodes where, I don't know the exact times, but they're 48 minutes, 52.
Yeah, there's no 40, set.
43, they're this episode's going to be as long as the story needs to be.
Yeah, I noticed that in House of Cards. 7 episodes were 58 minutes. Some of them were an hour and 1. I remember seeing that. Yeah,
that's awesome.
I'll watch it.
Yeah,
why not? It's
Marvel.
If it's good, it's going to set a huge precedent, and there's going to be a lot more to come.
Especially because we're getting the next others, so it's great.
Will Amazon get a DC series?
Not the way Warner Brothers is a movie.
Yeah, that's true. They're sticking to... DC's kind of sticking to traditional network television.
This isn't on topic, but Woody Allen is writing a movie, writing a TV series for Amazon.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Really?
Yeah, Woody Allen is creating the series for Amazon. And then Transparent is doing really well on Amazon. So Amazon's becoming a prime
That's the only one I've
now.
watched.
Did you get that? Prime contender?
Not to really the Woody Allen's agent.
Yeah.
But do you know if that Woody Allen is still going to have to go through the pilot process, or were they you're Woody Allen, you're getting a full season?
Martin Scorsese got Boardwalk Empire. They're whatever. You're Martin Scorsese. Do
I
whatever.
feel like they're just going to release it no matter what.
Yeah.
What does it cost them to release it? This is the deal with Amazon and Netflix. They can take really okay ideas and release them.
Well, they won't. He's saying, Amazon has a tradition where they release single episodes. They record pilots of shows and send them out there, and I guess people vote
which ones they want to get made.
Yeah, I wasn't pleased with the picks this time around. I didn't watch any of them, but it just...
out of principle.
What scene interested me, I was disappointed.
I judge those books by their covers.
I was disappointed that what seemed interesting to me wasn't popular. I was just, I was hoping that would be good.
This TV title has way too many vowels. Way too many vowels. F this, I'm not going to watch this.
That's
bad wording. My mistake.
It's the world that we're living in. Really, the fact that is the way we're.
It's whatever sticks to the wall nowadays. It's
it's the internet and streaming has made it so easy for people to get their stuff out. Point here with
any 4 idiots with microphones to record a podcast.
Yeah, and going into the point of the Power Rangers. So, Power Rangers, I guess what would you call it? Homage?
Fan fiction?
It's
fan fiction?
If you watch it now, because I think we all saw, when it first came out, it was just Power Rangers and it just opened.
Power/Rangers.
Power/Rangers. He now added a disclaimer that this is a bootleg universe and is not reflected by the Bandai Namco
Saban.
Bandai Namco something else. The Saban approved universe, because they sent him cease and desist letters
And it was taken down for a day. It was off YouTube for a day.
It got taken down, and I mean, a lot of people were not happy about it.
He had a Reddit AMA. The director of the short film held a Reddit AMA.
What's his name? Joseph Kahn or something like that, I think.
Yeah, I think
it was Joseph Kahn. Yeah. So for this being like a fan fiction or whatnot, this packed the goods. I mean, this thing, you could have sold me on like, this is the new thing, and I would have said, this is perfect.
I wouldn't go as far as perfect, but
it was so good.
Yeah, it wasn't the Japanese, man.
It was the most well-produced Power Rangers anything.
I mean, in the fact that it really, really realized that the audience did grow up. The audience did grow up. The
director himself said he was a fan.
That was not targeted to the kids who are watching Dino Thunder or whatever
Ninja
incarnation
Force
is on right now.
Yeah,
it was for the kids who grew up, and it was fantastic. They played on nostalgia heavily on every single thing, and I think if you showed that same short to just a random person, they would be like.
Which I did. I watched it with my girlfriend. Like the second time I watched it, I had her watch it. She's like, "You realize I know nothing about Power Rangers, right?" And I was like, "It doesn't matter.
It totally matters." Like,
yeah,
well, I mean, to get the nostalgia factor, yeah, but like she still enjoyed it.
I'm surprised. Like, I think that was all nostalgia driven. I watched it. I thought it was good. I was like, man, I'm really surprised this came out. But I definitely think that it was shock value, gore, graphic porn.
Mm-hmm.
Like, now there's no actual sex scenes. There's like, gratuitous violence.
Yeah.
Of like, hey, this childhood thing with like crazy pixel explosions and dust. Now we're going to have blood and gore and like, what if these people really were these soldiers? And like, how violent can we make it?
This show was unrealistically violent, though. This is just made it real. Like, this is what it would actually be like. And
we're like, just full spoilers for a 13-minute fan trailer. So if you're really concerned about it, you can pause right now and catch us in, I don't know, 2-3 minutes, hopefully.
At least.
Hopefully that's accurate.
Not if you pause it, because you're just picking right back up where we left off. Pause it for 13 minutes, watch the short, and come back.
I mean, like, I thought it was good, and it was funny, like, how much I did enjoy it, especially because, like, Zach was the only one actually, like, in costume for any, like, relevance of scene. But I really loved it.
And that was one of my least favorite parts, because the costume was bulky and the colors weren't.
That was one of my
the design
favorites.
wasn't.
That was one of my favorites.
Yeah,
the design of the costume and the helmets.
I didn't like it.
I hated Tommy's like shield, like that weird like holographic.
I was cool with that. I don't like. I may have felt.
I thought it was weird. I had never seen that though. I mean, give that credit though, because
it was
something no one had done yet. So I gave that plenty of credit. That was one.
And
of
it
my
was.
highlights.
I don't know. I may have felt differently about it if it were in like a full scene.
Yeah,
but I like how quick it was. And it's like, oh, that was cool. That was really
so they kept talking about the machines. I didn't stick with Power Rangers.
Were the machines were Zeo.
A villain at one point?
The Machine Army was Zeo.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or it might have even been the third rendition of the
Turbo?
Mighty Morphin.
Turbo.
Not Turbo.
Well, Zeo and then Turbo, right? That's the transition.
No,
I'm saying like how in Power Rangers, the Mighty Morphin was Rita, then there was Zed, and then I think it might have been...
Wasn't it Goo?
Ivan Ooze was just the movie. He only did the movie. But I think maybe the TV series, the third season, might have been the...
It was another chick.
Machine Army?
And then another chick was... When it hits Turbo, it's another chick.
Yeah, I never watched Turbo. I didn't finish Zeo. I stopped like halfway through Zeo.
So the Machine Army was legit. Like,
yes. It was a legit reference.
Which, like,
and I think it was
Rocky would have dealt with.
Yeah. Man, James Vanderbeek, glad he's still getting work. He did a good job.
Apparently that blonde chick is in a lot too. She was in Riddick and
Battlestar
Galactica, Doom. She's in some major releases.
It was a very good thing for one reason. Man, I cannot wait to see this new reboot. It's gonna have such a big audience.
If they put as much heart into the movie as this guy did into the short, it doesn't have to be violent like that. If they had that kind of dedication, it would be an excellent movie.
when you guys saw the short, there's a scene where like Kimberly's marrying Jason. Were you like, what the?
Yeah.
That seems that's not the canon in my head.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, that was a weird sequence of events.
Mm-hmm. I love all the little references in there, like
Billy
being
Yeah.
gay, like they reference him being gay,
Yeah.
which I thought was great. Like that's the first time I watched it, I didn't even catch that was Billy because I had it in my mind that James Van Der Beek was Billy, so it didn't. Even though they said his name outright, Billy, like I was like, it didn't even cross my mind. I was like, yeah, James Van Der Beek's Billy. That's just some billionaire guy, whatever. But like the second time I watched it, I caught the reference towards him being gay, and I was like, oh, that's Billy. And I was like, who the fuck is James Van Der Beek? So I watched the credits, and then I found out James Van Der Beek was Rocky, which makes sense because there's a line earlier where she's like, you were never one of us, or something like that.
Yeah, it's funny. Like Rocky was the second Red Ranger, right?
Yeah,
he was.
So they make reference to the original core 6 cast and then Rocky, but they don't reference any of the other replacements or like Next Generations or any of those other kids.
I just had to make a random pick, I guess.
Adam and Aisha got left out.
Adam.
Poor frog.
Oh my gosh.
That's pretty cool.
You forgot about Kat.
Kat, that's right. She was important in Zio.
Or the kid who becomes a...
Oh. Turbo. Fuck that.
So besides that, another like kind of digital distribution, and this series had a really interesting lifespan, is Community. NBC decided not to renew it, so it's now going to be Yahoo distributed. And they released their first trailer because they're going to start distributing the episodes. I don't know the exact date, March something. But they are going to distribute it weekly still. So it's still going to have that same feel. Trailer came out. It's very much Community. I don't feel like they like carved out the show or bastardized it or anything. But I do feel like it's missing something. Like there wasn't like the punch, and maybe Community doesn't do well in trailers. Like I haven't seen trailers for its shows. I typically just watch it. So maybe just that format doesn't lead it any credence. But I just like either they've lost too much of the core cast or something. Like it just feels like it's missing. I don't know, that it factor that I feel like it had like during season 2.
It's going to feel like Arrested Development season 4.
Very possible.
Even though that had every cast member return.
I enjoy Community, and I've even powered through the less attractive seasons, and I look forward to it. I like the fact that they may be able to cuss now. I don't know if they can cuss on Yahoo Screen. I don't watch anything on Yahoo Screen.
As far as I know, this is the first thing on Yahoo Screen. Like I've never even heard of it before.
Did they do it in Arrested Development?
Did they cuss in Arrested Development?
Yeah. Like in season 4. I don't remember.
It was on Netflix.
I don't remember either. I know they cuss a lot in House of Cards.
Because they would always bleep it out on the... I feel like they carried over the bleep on season 4.
I know that Yahoo Screen on the Apple TV, I watch a lot of BuzzFeed videos there, and I see a lot of SNL like review videos or recap videos. I also like to watch like Cosmopolitan stuff on there. And
didn't Yahoo make a series with Ken Marino like 3 years ago or something like that?
Oh,
about
yes.
a firefighter. Something
it was a spoof on The Bachelor, I think.
Yeah. I never watched it. I kept seeing ads for it, like in my Yahoo Mail, and I was like, "What is that?"
I
love Ken Marino.
You still have Yahoo Mail.
Yeah.
That's the impressive part here.
I have Yahoo and Gmail. All right.
That's right. How's your?
I don't feel like unsubscribing to a lot of stuff that's in my Yahoo
doing these days? How's your AIM
It
speed
may
name?
still exist.
Are you still looking?
I found out I have a live journal still.
Have you ever written anything of that?
Yeah, in like 2003.
I can't wait for Star Wars episode 2.
Yeah. It's embarrassing to read. Don't go looking for it.
We will post the link later.
I can't wait. I miss Community in my life.
Yeah. Reviving a fan favorite, we're going to go through a roundtable of what we've been watching. I've been watching Arrow and Flash.
Is there a new season of Arrow?
It's still same season. Like 2014, 2015.
Oh, I didn't even know they started 3.
I'm sure I talked about it. Like
That's it. Yeah, it's been the same season. Yeah.
So did it take a hiatus and
just a winter hiatus.
Okay.
Came back, and I don't know like what shows you guys are watching. I feel like because it's on another hiatus until like the end of March. Like, I'm like, did it, like, our show's, like, having a weird, like...
Spring break?
Yeah, like, another shorter interval.
CW does that, though. I think CW is the only one who's doing the hiatus. I was affected by it as well.
I don't remember that with Gossip Girl. Gossip Girl just came on. I know a show that does that a lot.
Say that again, Edgar?
I watch Gossip Girl. I don't care. I watch Gossip Girl. I'll admit it to my grave. But Modern Family does that a lot too.
I watch Gossip Girl.
Gossip Girl enthusiast, husband, father. Modern Family does that too. They just stop showing for weeks. It's like, what? Why?
Dragon Ball used to do that, and it drove me nuts.
Yes,
I could never get into it enough because they just kept going back.
Anyway, so Chris, you were watching Arrow.
Flash. Flash is really great first season. It's definitely
has it ended yet?
No. Okay. Full story arc, like, Freak of the Week episodes, but interconnected still, like inter between each episode, and kind of building like little mysteries along the way.
How's the kid as the title character?
I think he does a good job. Like, he's really likable, and friendly, and seems charismatic. I mean, there's a weird love, unrequited love within the story that's a little like I could do without.
It's in the CW, dude.
But it's in the CW. I mean, it has to be part of the makeup of the show. But I mean, it's doing really great. Arrow's struggling a little bit. Like, the season doesn't feel like it has that connective tissue. It does kind of feel like it's, juggling a couple story arcs at the same time.
Yeah.
And Arrow always kind of does a, what's happening now and what happened 5 years ago. And they're normally more connected. Now it's just kind of more distance from each other, and maybe they'll come together later, but right now it doesn't really make a lot of sense.
I hate those gimmicks.
I mean, there's big news
that crap all the time, and I hate it.
CW is aiming towards a big, group kind of series anchored by both of these shows.
Yeah, they're talking about doing like a team up series with some of the characters that have been introduced in each show, and maybe going off. And there's some speculation. Somebody wrote a really interesting piece, like saying like it's not going to be a team show; it's going to be a team up show, kind of like Brave and the Bold, the comics, where obviously they won't have these huge properties, but Brave and the Bold, issue 1, Batman and Superman team up, issue 2, Flash and Green Lantern, no correlation like to what happened to it previously, kind of like Twilight Zone, like it's just these like insular single episodes. I can't imagine CW or any network taking a risk on something like that. Like, in this day and age, with this property, having these weird one-off episodes that you can watch.
We'll team up this week.
But maybe, I don't know.
Why not? I mean, they just keep casting young people who are nobodies, give them a costume, and keep at it. Why not? So,
what do they have any other properties? CW?
I don't know.
Not in that universe. No. Not at this time. Like all the other, like the Gotham.
They still have like they have a lot of the Batman characters because they have at some point they had the Birds of Prey. So they have some of the rights for Batman characters
and Smallville.
Yeah, they did Smallville,
and they got Smallville. So at some point we could see. I don't think anyone would be against it.
Tom Welling show up as Superman?
Why not? Why not? He'll fight
in his non-Superman suit.
What show is Brandon Routh in? Is he in Flash?
He's in Arrow.
And Flash.
Mark Hamill's in Flash. Has he been on TV yet?
He hasn't showed up yet.
No.
And that was forever ago that we saw that picture come out. So,
and I saw the costume for Brandon Routh too. Reminded me of Ant-Man.
Well, Adam, Brandon Routh plays Adam, so I mean, that's DC's Ant-Man. So I mean, it's not
makes sense. Then.
So far, he hasn't shrunk.
I probably read that. Probably read that somewhere. And
he won't.
I made the connection myself.
I mean, Arrow tries to be a little bit more grounded. Flash does cross over, and they kind of throw the rule book out the window. So I can't imagine they're going to have Adam literally shrinking down and whatnot. So. I could be wrong.
Could be good. Anything else you're watching?
John Oliver picked up its season for HBO. hilarious. Like, I fell out of favor with Colbert Report, Jon Stewart, and, like, some of those shows, like, I don't watch Jimmy Fallon every night, but if somebody sends me a clip, I'll watch it. It's hilarious. But John Oliver manages to be, like, a good, consistent 30 minutes. And I think, like, the weekly format gives the writers enough time to research all their crazy, wacky topics and, stay on point.
Yeah, it's always worth it to see, like I guess it goes on Sunday and by Monday it's already on YouTube, and it's, top video on YouTube every time, what is the weekly rant about? So
it's my highlight of Sunday night. That's the show I look forward most. I look forward to the most.
Cool.
Right now.
What else are you watching?
I have a lot of shows that I watch. I finished House of Cards, which was good.
2 days.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I love about Netflix is that I can watch it in my own place. No spoilers. It's still super fresh. House of Cards didn't have enough. Like, it was toothless compared to season 2 or season 1. Like, it didn't have the veracity. I've also started watching West Wing, which is really good. I mean, it's crazy how Aaron Sorkin has remained the same. Like all his shows, like Sunset Strip or Studio 60 on Sunset Strip, Sports Night, Newsroom, and West Wing all have the same like episode names. Like some of them do, and a lot of them mention the same country, Kundu, the Republic of Equatorial Kundu. I don't know. It's just funny. It's like the little things.
West Wing seems like the anti-House of Cards.
Yes, it is. It is very much the anti-House of Cards.
What surprised me the most about this West Wing is how recent this series actually is. I thought it was old. It premiered in '99.
Yeah,
that's crazy to me.
I was with him when he found that out, and I was blown away as well. I was like, it was 93 maybe.
Yeah.
I've also been watching Marry Me, which is something Sakai and I took a chance on, and it's really funny. It has Ken Marino and some other people I don't know from Happy Endings, but it's really funny.
I loved it.
It's on NBC. I got it on Hulu Plus. It was recommended to me, so I tried it and we liked it. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is still going on. It's still funny.
Back up a second. Recommended to you by who?
Hulu.
You trust Hulu?
Yeah, why not? I mean,
it always says the most ridiculous things.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine still strong. SNL I watch. I try to stay up, but I go to sleep. Broad City is what I would recommend you guys to watch. It's on Comedy Central. You don't have to log in to Comedy Central's website to watch it. I watch it on the app on my iPad.
They have an app?
Yes, Comedy Central app. And it is funny because it's about two girls living in New York and they do stupid things that guys would do. But it's funny because girls are doing it and we expect them to be proper, ... It's not as heavy as, like, it doesn't have the gravity of Girls, and it doesn't have, like, the spiritual searching of Sex and the City, but it's based in New York and it's two girls and it's real fun.
They're not broke, are they?
No, they're not. No. Well, they may be broke. They do smoke a lot of pot. And then last but not least is Better Call Saul.
Who are the girls? Are they known actresses?
No, they write their own shows. Like, they act in it and then they write them.
Is it? I don't know why we're grilling you, but is it a sitcom or is it like a skit show?
It's a sitcom.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a sitcom. And Better Call Saul is one that I've loved so far. The first 2 episodes have been 99%. Like, if Breaking Bad is 100%, like, it's the best show ever, Better Call Saul is like a 98, 99 so far.
Wow. Big deal.
Yes, I love it. It's good. Just because I can see the characters again.
Well, let me ask you this, because I have been watching the same show. Do you think somebody that did not watch Breaking Bad can get into that show by just watching the first 2 episodes?
No. No, I don't think so.
I think...
Is it funny? Like,
no. It is funny. It is funny.
So it's like any scene with Saul from Breaking Bad.
That's right. It's like
the whole show.
But the whole show.
Okay.
It's very interesting. I think.
But he's not called Saul. His name's Jimmy.
Jimmy McGill. Jimmy McGill.
Jimmy dies. I don't know if you know this. No, he doesn't die.
No, it's fantastic. It opens the show.
Oh my god, that open was so good.
And the thing is, it opens the show with this one scene that is like it hits home. Like you kind of feel sad at the end of this thing, and you're kind of wondering, like, what the hell am I watching?
Yeah.
Is this what's going to be? And then completely flips it on you very quickly. I think the storylines are pretty good.
It's got the original creators of
The
Breaking
original
Bad, right?
creators. I think really I can recall what's the actor's name that plays Saul.
Bob Odenkirk.
Yes.
Okay,
He was in the SNL special too.
he was.
Yeah.
He was from Mr. Show.
Used to be an
Used to be a
SNL writer.
Yeah, SNL later. Yeah.
I think this guy's really. If this series keeps going, I think the guy's going to be, in the next Emmys and Golden Globes. I think the guy's going to be a contender.
I thought he was excellent in Breaking Bad.
Yeah, and then but because of so many others, he never could get. They could only submit so many people for supporting characters.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be great. So I think that's going to be a great series. The other thing that I have been watching, I mean, as usual, it's the Voice. I think it still has its thing. I more than like the American Idols and all that. Like I still enjoy the beginning of The Voice, the blind auditions. I think it's really cool. Even this thing.
Who are the judges now?
Judges Blake Shelton, Adam Levine,
Pharrell, right?
Pharrell, and Christina Aguilera.
What about Gwen Stefani?
Gwen
She's out?
Stefani's out. She's working on her solo stuff.
So
I thought
Christina
Seal was on that show.
Seal?
Was that wrong?
He might be in like the Australian. There's versions like everywhere.
Oh, okay.
So Christina just dipped out for a season, and then because wasn't Gwen on there instead of her for?
So in that chair has been Christina, Shakira, and Gwen Stefani.
Shakira.
Yeah, she was there for a whole season. So
I know nothing about this show. I mean, obviously.
So it's great. I mean, what season's 2 amazing, or doesn't season?
Usher was on there too.
Usher was in it, yeah, and so was CeeLo.
Is that how he's found?
I remember CeeLo was on it. I do.
But the thing is, like,
That'd be so great if they had actual musicians sing and nobody turned the chair. They're like, I don't know about this guy.
Celebrity edition.
Yeah.
That could be the Christmas special. But it's great because of doesn't matter. They kept the same format. They haven't gone through a revamp like American Idol had to do. It's still impressive the talent that goes through that show. I mean, after a while, just to me, other shows just kind of like they picked the top people and they kept making season after season. I think the talent pool was like exhausted somewhat. This show, I don't know who's casting for them, but it's just on point every time. So that's really what I've been watching so far. What about you, Drew?
Drew, all eyes on you.
Or ears. I have 3 shows I've been recently watching. I just finished Series 2 of Peaky Blinders, which I mentioned earlier in the episode. I was a sucker for Netflix originals. Peaky Blinders is not a true Netflix original. It's like a BBC series that Netflix owns distribution rights for in the US or whatever.
Okay.
It's Cillian Murphy, I don't know how you say his name. It's early 1900s, like Industrial Revolution, Great Britain.
Yeah.
He plays a gangster. Great show.
Oh,
I loved it.
Tom Hardy, Sam Neill.
Yeah, Tom Hardy shows up in Series 2. He's not in the first series, but he's in Series 2. And Sam Neill is the villain. He's like the detective.
He's a villain?
Yeah, he's the detective that...
he's the good guy.
Or inspector, I guess, is what they call it. He's a bad good guy. And then Cillian Murphy's a good bad guy. So, it's from the point of view of gangsters. So.
What else? You said 3 shows.
Series 2, I thought was way better than Series 1.
That's odd.
with help from Tom Hardy, because I love Tom Hardy, and he's different in the show than he normally is. I loved it. Pretty kind of a cliffhanger ending.
Season 2?
Look forward to Series 3. Yeah.
Season 3 coming up.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do they got? A date?
No, they just said that it's been picked up by the BBC to air via Netflix on.
So maybe it isn't
Yeah.
a Netflix original even in England.
No, it's a BBC, but
What are you saying? Via
distribution-
Netflix. So
Like BBC makes it, but
yeah, they're just producers. They're just producers. So.
What are the two shows?
The other one, the current one I'm following, which is like airing
season
now.
1, season 2, and season 3. Man, come on.
The one I'm watching that's airing now is Togetherness, HBO series.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that one.
Yeah, it's the only like ongoing
weird.
series right now. There was one episode, like episode 4, episode 5, that I was like, that was bad. But I've liked everything else. Like it came back after that, and I liked it up to that point.
I don't want to see Amanda Pete naked anymore.
Yeah.
Stop showing me Amanda Pete.
There's awkward nudity in that show.
Very awkward nudity.
It's very real life, and
I don't see Amanda Pete naked in real life.
Well, you can.
Well, the thing that surprised me on that show was the main guy, Mark Duplass, is the gentleman's the actor's name. He was in The League.
Yeah.
I mean that
was he's
Duplass.
Like he and his brother are a big deal as far as like writing and stuff goes. His brother,
I didn't know that.
starred in
Jay Duplass,
the Amazon series Transparent.
Oh, that's wow.
He was good in that, and I think he might have been a writer or producer on that as well.
Mark's the writer, creator of Togetherness. Like he's behind the camera. He's not just he's not just a pretty.
That's
face.
his show. I think it's really a Duplass brothers show, but he's the only one that stars in it. And I know the two of them also signed like a 3-picture deal with Netflix recently.
Oh, I didn't read that.
And they're actually films Netflix is producing and that are going to theaters as well. So it's going to be in theaters and then to Netflix.
Wow, these guys are getting huge.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know Netflix was doing that.
Yeah, I think that's the first one, and they just picked up another one today with Idris Elba, like an indie film.
Interesting.
They bought and they're going to release that.
All the Adam Sandler films straight to Netflix.
Yep.
Not going to bother wasting their time with.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So Togetherness, I would recommend.
Okay.
If it's not quite awkward humor, but it's the same kind of feeling, like kind of is a little bit of a cringe to watch because it's so real.
Yeah.
It's almost hard to watch, which I like that. Like I love Ricky Gervais's
like
comedy,
cringe-worthy?
That awkward comedy that makes you cringe.
Yeah.
That's what I get from Togetherness.
What's the last show, Drew?
Last show.
Last show, Drew?
There's an older, not too old, but something that's ended that I'm watching based off a recommendation of someone from work is Californication. I am almost done with season 3, and I believe it's a 7-season show that
just lasted
ended,
7 seasons.
Just ended in 2014, I think, maybe 2013.
Wow, I didn't know that.
It's very raunchy. One of the most raunchy shows I've ever watched.
Well, I mean, it's Showtime. They can get away with
galore. Yeah, and it's once you get past that, it's got a good like family dynamic for a dark humor kind of a series. I really like it. That's what I'm watching.
So that's what we're watching now. But what movies do we rewatch most often, or have the most rewatch value?
I'll start it. I think one of my favorites, and maybe this is just one of them. I have a lot of movies, and I think that's really what dictates what I go out and buy, on Blu-ray or DVD or whatnot. This topic, I actually came up with it over the weekend when I was watching Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back. I think that movie, the more I watch it, the more little things that I find and the subtleness. And it's a movie, like it's a movie that I think it still has great rewatch value. But then it made me think, which ones are the better ones? I think Back to the Future, Part 1. It's one of those movies that I can pick up at any point, and I'll sit through the whole thing and finish watching it. So that'll be like, if I had to pick one with the best rewatch value, that would be it for me.
Silent Bob? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Go ahead.
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
Part 1.
Wow.
Part 1.
I'm terrible, I'm sorry.
I blacked out for a little bit.
I don't even remember what I was thinking.
You said Robert Zemeckis, I just blanked out.
It's funny because I was going to say Back to the Future, actually, and one of the reasons why is because there's some stuff that you can't pick up the first time, like subtle references and cues. There's even something like Edgar shared with me like a year ago about how when Marty goes back in time, he ends up hitting one of the pine trees. So then Twin Pine Mall becomes like a single pine mall.
Yeah,
I never noticed that, even though I've seen that movie like 12 times.
It was on BuzzFeed.
That's the greatest thing, though, about that movie.
So there's just like, I don't know, those like little interconnected. And Jay and Silent Bob is another good example. And I think it like shows kind of a fine line. There's a fine line between like movies that like build on itself, and like when you rewatch, you get like more jokes and more nuance and more into it. And movies that like, and I feel like comedies, so it's funny that you say Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I feel like comedies almost have the least amount of rewatch value. Because like you already know the jokes, you already know the punchlines, you already know what's coming. Like I love Avengers, but when you watch Avengers 4th, 5th time, like, you know, those lines that the entire theater laughed at and I laughed at, they're just kind of like, oh, okay. Like, you know, they do lose something as time goes on.
Yeah, I mean, Guardians it's kind of like that. But so far, I mean, I don't think I'm over like in the double digits yet of Guardians, but the times that I've seen it, I sat through the whole movie plenty of times now. So,
Shaun of the Dead had good. Like, I know I said comedies, but like Shaun of the Dead, like there's a scene like, I don't know, I guess like movies that are kind of smart and like funny. Yeah. Like there's a scene where he says how they're going to spend their day, and then that's how they spend their day.
Yeah.
But you know, like not like everything's playing on words and nuance. Not
that's how Edgar Wright. Yeah, it's like, hey, you got red on you, right? Edgar Wright's smart like that.
It's interesting. So one article that I'm, you know, I just
dude, screw you. You're not going to be able to say anything.
That's fine.
Well, this random top 50 that I found out I found online, it has Inception.
Do you have to click through every page?
As the number one. Yes, you have
to. No, dude, fuck those websites, man. You have to click through every page.
Every single one. That's right.
I hate those websites, dude.
But the number one.
And I click through them. I click through them. I have to click through them.
Inception.
No way.
Number one, which like
if they're basing a rewatch off of a single rewatch.
I don't understand. Like I like Inception, but everybody talks about Inception being so complicated.
It's not.
They tell you exactly what they're going to do, and then they do exactly what they said they were going to do. It's not that complicated. They walk
like
you.
Edgar Wright wrote it.
They hold your hand through that entire experience.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that it was blown out of proportion just by the fans, and
just because it was
not intended.
Just because it was Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
What about
it's
you?
Kind of giving him a bad rap too, I think.
What do you got?
Circles. For me, there are several.
Okay.
I'm going to avoid Star Wars because that's almost
not fair.
Yeah, I mean,
it is number 3.
It is an obsession, not rewatchable. But I'm going to go with The Departed.
Oh,
The Departed is for me.
You're just sucking up to me. You're buttering me up. What are you going to say?
The Departed, I've always, since I've seen it, I've always held in my top 5 favorite movies of all time, and it is out of those top 5, maybe the one that I can watch like immediately after watching it.
Yeah, I can do that.
When I got it on DVD, I watched it twice in one day because I took it. I remember I took it to my grandmother's house because I wanted to show her. I watched it with her.
You showed it to your grandmother?
My grandmother's cool. She likes to watch the hard R movies with me. Like I watched all the Tarantino movies with her. She loves Tarantino.
Maybe,
but
maybe not. Maybe fuck yourself.
But The Departed I watched, and then I brought home and watched with my roommate that same night, and I did not feel bored at all. And every time I can jump in the middle of it and just watch to the end, or start it and have to leave and be fine with that. I get fulfillment out of every little bit of it. The movie is perfect.
Yeah, from acting, writing, everything. I quote it all the time. Every single performance. Yeah, one of the most quotable movies. I watch it a lot. It's interesting. Even though it's almost 3 hours long. But I love it. Yeah. I try to find a ringtone that Frank Costello's phone does. I try to find his ringtone once. Any other movies that you guys think of? It's hard to differentiate this from my favorite movie, because my favorite movie is Departed. Here comes The Social Network. No. It's not Social Network. It's Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction is one of my favorite movies I love to rewatch, especially with the trivia track on. That's my favorite thing, is learning how Quentin Tarantino made the Quentin Tarantino shot the movie and how this plays into this, and then Pulp Fiction is one of my favorite movies to rewatch. And the second one is Hitch. Whenever I'm in a bad mood, I just put Hitch on, and it's so good because I love Hitch because it was before, it's so innocent. It just lives there by itself. It has Kevin James and Eva Mendes and Will Smith, it just lives on itself.
Yeah, that's the cast.
Yeah, it doesn't need anything else, and it's in New York City, and it's a lovely movie. And that's a movie that puts me in a good mood.
For me, I've always said Kill Bill is another one that I can watch back to back, and be fine with it. Volume 1 specifically.
Are there any movies that maybe you watched it in the movie theater or stayed away from in the movie theater, and only the rewatch value got greater and greater when it got to TV? Like when you saw it on TV and they kept rerunning it. Is there any one that you can think of? I'll start it. Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby.
Don't get me started.
I've never seen that movie.
Well, see, this is one thing. I shared it with Drew. We both went into the movie, and we both walked out thinking, wow, that movie just wasn't that great.
That's disappointing. I unfortunately watched twice in one 24-hour period.
That was a disappointment. But the more I kept watching that movie when it got on TV, that movie...
What do you mean TV? Like on DVD? Or
TV,
like on TBS?
TV,
oh, okay.
Yeah, like TV stations. It's
okay.
No DVD. To date, I don't own that movie, but it's just one movie that I think that's what did it for me. And I feel like a lot of those type of comedies are just one of those that, the more you watch it, the more you get into it.
It's funny that you say that, because I was kind of running through my mental catalog. And I was like, I didn't like Anchorman. But then there was a point when I was quoting Anchorman. But I would never say Anchorman's a good movie. And I feel like maybe Talladega Nights falls into this similar pattern. There's a difference between a good movie and a quotable movie.
Yeah.
Talladega Nights I have spurted quotes from often.
Yeah.
But I despise the movie.
Because I'm not bashing all these movies, but Anchorman, Zoolander.
Most movies where Will Ferrell is the star, I do not like. I've always, until recently, had a hatred of Will Ferrell. His movies are just one-liners over and over, one-liner followed by one-liner followed by one-liner.
Wait until it gets on TV.
That's what makes us apart. It's so good. That's what makes Shaun of the Dead so good, is that it's quotable and it's rewatchable.
Yeah, it's well written.
Yeah.
I'll stop my head now. There's no movie that I've fallen in love with the more I've watched it.
Okay.
There's movies I've fallen out of love with, or I thought about.
What do you got?
Amazing Spider-Man 2, and then that was complete trash. I can't believe I ever said anything good about it. Even
on record too.
I know, it's terrible.
Both of us.
Donnie Darko, the first time I saw that. Memento, the first time I saw that. First time I saw Memento, I was like, this is brilliant filmmaking. Oh my god! But then when I saw it again, I was like,
this was okay.
And I don't know if it's the movie changed or I did. Some of these I saw years apart. But yeah, there's definitely rewatch degrades the experience.
So another one that comes to mind for me, when I was younger, the Pierce Brosnan James Bond movies. So GoldenEye, The World Isn't Tomorrow Never Dies, The World Is Not Enough, and Die Another Day.
Yeah.
I thought all those movies were really good. Starting with GoldenEye. I thought it was this is a great James Bond movie. And until recently, I rewatched it. No. It's not that great of a movie.
No, it's not.
Younger, I used to love watching that movie.
Because we played the game.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I've never rewatched GoldenEye as an adult, but if you were to ask me, I would say it'd be hands down the best Pierce Brosnan, and then it just fell off a cliff. But then, you're saying, you rewatched it recently, so I'm going to go with your judgment more than my fuzzy 10, 15-year-old memory.
It's crazy, man. That's one. I mean, that just did it for me recently. That just comes to mind.
I couldn't get into GoldenEye because of the game.
Yeah.
I played the game 100 times before I even saw the movie. and I knew the movie from beginning to end before I ever saw it.
Were you like, what's up with these round faces? Where are the polygons?
Exactly. So,
Where is the golden gun?
It was odd. It was odd.
Yeah.
Do you guys
Hagrid's in that movie.
Who?
Hagrid is like the Russian.
Oh,
fat Russian
yeah.
guy.
He's
I was like,
Boris.
I was like, what? Hagrid.
He's Boris.
Yeah.
Jean Grey's in that movie?
Jean Grey.
Yeah.
Uncle Jensen.
Another X-Men. What's his face?
Oh, Alan Cummings.
Alan Cummings.
Yes.
Nightcrawler.
I'm invincible. click, click, click.
Yeah. I remember that.
Where are you guys? Is there any movie that you fell in love with more you watched it?
Social Network. Dude, I love the crap out of the Social Network. I just watched it recently. No, seriously, I love the Social Network. I fall in love with it every time I see it.
I think the obvious ones too, though, like anything, not anything, but mostly anything with a Disney insignia in front of it.
Yeah,
I think a lot
I
of
watched the
Disney
Jungle Book
movies.
recently. That's still good.
Going back, I mean, Mighty Ducks.
You're also going
that's
in
Mighty
with, you're
Ducks.
also going in with a very different mind, with a lot more life experience, and
What?
from movies we watch as children to watching them now, you're seeing them very differently.
What you
Office
got?
Space. I did not care about Office Space the first time I saw it.
Good. But now it's good because we work in an office.
But now, as my life changes,
Yes.
it is a funnier movie.
Yes.
More relatable and...
Yeah.
I get it now.
I actually haven't watched Office Space since I started working in an office. So
Oh, really?
I'm gonna put that on my list. I need to go back and watch that.
It is outstanding.
Have you buttered up to Attack of the Clones yet, Drew? The more you watch it?
No, definitely
Revenge of the
not.
Sith?
No,
No?
I haven't rewatched them.
I haven't.
I
Revenge of the
sold
Sith.
my DVDs.
Revenge of the Sith. I have not seen it.
Me
since
neither.
the movie theater.
Me neither. And I own
Me
it.
either. Now that you mention it, I saw it in theaters, and
I saw it.
I think it was
I don't think
great.
I ever watched it. I bought the DVD. I don't think I ever watched it.
Me neither. I don't want to watch
I
it.
think I watched Attack of the Clones once.
I think I watched
before
it,
Revenge of the Sith came out.
Like the bonus features of Star Wars, and I think that might have been it for Revenge of the Sith.
I watched it 5 times in theaters, unfortunately.
Revenge of the Sith?
Yeah.
Ooh.
But I worked at a movie theater. I worked at a movie theater, so it was free. I wouldn't have paid to see it 5 times. But.
Fair enough.
I don't know why this popped in my head. Good movies only, or great movies only. And I have one, and we can argue if it's good or not. Is there any movie that you've seen once, and you're like, that's a good movie, but I never want to watch it again?
Yeah, like Schindler's List. I never want to see that.
I knew he was going to say that.
Dude,
That's a
Schindler's
good
List was
example.
I've seen
such a
Schindler's
good
List 3
bad movie. I
times.
never want to see it again. That one and
The
hang on, come
Godfather.
back to me.
The Godfather for me.
I would watch The Godfather again.
I watched the entire movie, but it's just one of those that I know it and I highly regard it as one of the greatest movies, but no interest in rewatching it.
It's a good example.
It's just one of those. I think it was just the task. I thought that movie was just long and a lot of names. It was a lot.
It was a lot of
It
names.
was a tough movie to get
Sounds like,
through.
sounds like it's just going to be Best Picture winners.
The one that came to my head mind was King Kong, like the Peter Jackson.
Oh.
Like when I saw that, I liked it. Like in theaters, I saw it in theaters.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, that was an exhausting movie. Like, I cannot sit through it. Maybe it was its length. Like I do not ever want to see this again.
But then you have movies like Titanic. I can sit through Titanic tons of times.
My heart will go on.
Yeah.
Is there any, the way I feel about King Kong is maybe I am afraid to watch it again because I don't want to not like it. Is there anything that you guys can think of that would maybe
That is the fear?
apply? Yeah, you don't want to rewatch it out of fear of not liking it?
Ooh.
I think Dark Knight Rises is that for me. Like, I still hold that highly, and I haven't seen it since theaters. I'm afraid to watch it again, knowing what I know.
I'm just like, I don't know.
Nothing jumps out. Probably something from my childhood that I still think is really good.
Yeah.
But then I don't know. Like, I mean, I saw Raiders and Back to the Future, and those hold up.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Nothing. You threw a stumper. I don't know.
Good.
Do you have anything in here? Like you're thinking about it?
Superman Returns. Because I mean,
Don't want to disappoint you there, but
because I like Superman Returns better than Man of Steel. And that's
I do too.
And that's a movie.
to agree to that.
That's a movie that
From a writing standpoint, yeah.
That's a movie. The more I watch, the more I like a whole hell of a lot better than Man of Steel. Even though it was Superman spying on Lois Lane and all that jazz, but it's better than Superman destroying Metropolis and then crying.
And letting his dad die.
That's right. That was so dumb. Oh my god! He could have just, I don't know, like spun the tornado out of the way. Okay, Superman. Okay, Clark Kent knows the Doppler system, right? Like he could have just swerved the tornado out of the way, and then.
He's a reporter, not a meteorologist.
No, but he sees the news though. He sees the news, and so it's like hurricane coming, and he could have been like, "Let me get rid of this."
It was a tornado, it wasn't a hurricane.
Whatever.
He didn't work for the Daily Planet yet.
No, listen. But the news. Okay, the news is on. Clark Kent sees the news.
They live out in the middle of nowhere. They don't have TV.
That's not true. It's like, holy shit, a tornado's coming. A lot of my friends are gonna die. Let me just move the tornado out of the way. No. No. It didn't happen. He let his dad die over the dog.
I don't know. I think Superman Returns, just the scene with the kid pushing the piano.
I actually like that as a non-Superman fan. I really liked it.
And Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor. Come on.
He was terrible.
I love Kevin Spacey.
He was terrible. I thought that was one of the disappointments.
He felt like a Dick Tracy villain. Kind of,
I blame the writing. I don't blame Kevin. I think he gave the performance that he was asked.
Yeah.
For that, because I mean, like if you look at
Gene Hackman.
He played Kevin Spacey.
The girl that was like his sidekick, but they're stupid.
Missy Parker,
Yeah. Like they were supposed to be over the top and silly.
Yeah, I mean, and Gene Hackman was from the original Superman, just like that.
Yeah.
Over the top, kind of goofy.
I mean, it felt that's a movie that I watched when I fell in love with it. If you were to ask me to watch a movie right now, it would be Superman Returns over Man of Steel.
What about over Social Network?
No, that's not in the picture. That's not in the picture.
You would choose Social Network.
That's all I got. I mean, that's really it. I can think of like a lot of like comedies that are just a usual. You know, you can always throw a comedy.
One comedy that I can watch anytime is Dumb and Dumber.
Not for me.
I love that movie to death. And
it's one of those that I
consider it a classic.
So this happened to me.
No, that's one I'm afraid to see a first time.
This is one of those though, like The Mask. I regarded that movie very highly. I thought it was so funny. So when it came out on Blu-ray, I'm like, man, I haven't seen this in forever. I'm gonna rush out and get it.
I never loved The Mask.
Disappointed with The Mask,
but I never saw it as a kid or even a teenager.
I was very disappointed with that.
I think Drew, I don't know. I think he quickly gave us the soundbite for the reason. Like we changed. The movie might not be any better or worse the second watching. It's just you have X amount of years more experience, so your view of it and The Mask is a cartoon basically. And I mean, but when you bought it on Blu-ray, outside of Star Wars Rebels, you weren't at the age where you were watching cartoons anymore.
I guess I better watch The Mummy. It's been a little bit since I've seen it.
Don't watch Tomb of the Dragon Emperor.
I was going to make that joke.
I don't want to see funny people again. I saw that movie once, and I don't want to see them again.
That was exhausting.
It's a good movie.
Funny People was an exhausting movie to watch.
It just didn't get anywhere. I think one of the worst endings of any movie.
It was like outer. How do you fucking say that word?
What?
It was like outer of comedy. I'm totally butchering that.
What are you saying?
I know what you're saying.
It's like
entrepreneur. I wish we took
AUTEUR.
Amateur.
Outer. I don't know. I'm probably not using it properly. Forget I ever said it.
You mean highbrow?
Highbrow, of a comedy, and it was just kind of.
Yeah, it tried to be too fancy.
I never want to see the movie again.
Yeah,
any social issues movie, I never want to see again. Amistad, I saw it once. I never want to see that movie again. 12 Years a Slave, I don't want to see that movie.
In film criticism, auteur theory holds that a film reflects the director's personal creative vision as if they were the primary auteur, the French word of author. Oh, that's a period.
And now you know.
Okay.
Dallas Buyers Club. Would you see that movie again? Dallas Buyers Club?
I have seen Dallas Buyers Club.
the AIDS movie?
I own that movie. I love that movie.
Okay.
I can sit through that again.
Well, those are every movie we've ever seen. I think by the time we were done talking about it, those are some movies that we think are rewatchable or not. Definitely want to hear back from you guys. You can email us at nerdexp@gmail.com and let us know what movies you think are rewatchable, or send us a question. If you want to hear more from us, you can follow me on Twitter at NerdEXP. You can follow Drew.
World is square backwards with an @ symbol at the beginning.
Oh, really, Drew?
What? That's how Twitter works. You follow Edgar?
Where I staunchly defend that dress is white and gold. Hashtag white and gold. So at Edgar X... no, that's not it anymore. At Edgar ALVRZ86.
You guys are complicated.
I love to repost funny things. So follow me.
Funny things.
You can follow Guillermo.
Still, only if you're sitting behind me in line. That's about it.
How do you not have a Twitter at this point?
I'm tempted. Maybe
You're missing out on so much
How
stuff.
are you going to promote the show?
Yes.
Like, how's people going to know?
I know. I'm still stuck handing out flyers.
Well, if you like this show, be sure to check out NerdEXP Game IQ. I'll be working with some of the bloggers from my IGN on just talking about video games and focusing on that content. And then Drew also has another show called Straight Chillin'.
Yeah, Drew, tell them about your
I actually made a mistake last time. It's Straight Chilling with a G.
Oh.
I messed up. It's not chillin'. It's chilling. It's supposed to be a play on like
it gave me
chilling
goosebumps.
horror film, Straight chilling. Because we review horror films. And that's
clever.
Straight Chilling Podcast. /podomatic.com. I don't know. Podomatic.com/Straight Chilling Podcast.
I heard Google. Google is good.
Yeah. So I think it's on iTunes too, but I could be wrong.
Fair enough.
I'm glad you're prepared. Well, thank you, Drew. Thank you, Edgar.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Guillermo. And thank you for listening. We hope that this week's episode helped you with your nerd IQ. Level up, friends.